Thanks for tuning into our Edit Sesh. I'm Effie.
And I'm Dorothy, two passionate photographers from Hamilton, Ontario.
Join us as we dive into answering FAQs, share tips, and discuss life's moments, all while savoring the rich aroma of our favorite brew and working through our edit cues. Whether you're a photographer or a pal,
we're beyond happy you're joining us.
It is pretzel, dates, peanut butter, maple syrup, coconut oil, and vegan chocolate.
Yum. Here we
You
go.
have to try it.
Okay, Junie.
The only downside is that they've been sitting here for an hour, so they're a little bit softy.
They're a little soft. That's okay.
Yeah.
The crunch.
They're like turtles.
Yeah. They're honestly, I was like, you know when you make something and you're like, this is like sugar-free, vegan, gluten-free, and then you're like, you're eating it and you're like, I love it. It's like, is it good or have I just not had sugar for a really long time?
Well, there's sugar.
Well, yeah, there's maple syrup.
And chocolate.
Dates have sugar. Chocolate has sugar. Mm-hmm. I know these aren't sugar-free, but you know when they're like, oh, make you can make this brownie out of a sweet potato, and you're like, it tastes like a sweet potato. Mm-hmm. The avocado ones are the worst. Mm-hmm. It just tastes like avocado. Mm-hmm. It's like not good.
Sweet potato ones are actually good though.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dorothy.
Yeah.
Fun
I'm gonna
snack.
put them in the fridge so they don't melt into a puddle. I see you have my pie in the fridge. What'd you get?
I got the Do You Wanna? The one with the fig jam.
Oh yeah.
And we also got the Pile On, and which is like pepperoni and I think some other meats on it. And we tried the pickle one.
And good?
Yeah, so good.
Because that one is vegan.
Is it?
Isn't it?
The cheese probably isn't. You can make any of them vegan.
Oh. I thought for some reason that one was vegan. Or maybe it just said could be vegan.
Probably. And we got, I think there was like a chicken one or something.
Whoa, you had a lot.
We went with 4 people.
Oh, that makes sense.
And we got chicken wings at the beginning, and I ate 2 chicken wings. And they were so good, and I didn't die.
That's so funny.
It's so funny because, like, I really miss chicken wings. Like, if someone was like, what do you miss the most from being vegan? It's chicken wings.
Huh. Well,
Yeah.
you really can't make it like cauliflower chicken wings.
Yeah.
It's just cauliflower sauce on it.
I know.
I mean, they do deep fry them. They're okay.
Yeah. They're okay, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
No.
It's not the same. Cool.
How did you like my pie? Did you?
Yeah, we
Which ones
had
did you
we had 2 of the same ones you had, the first 2. So we didn't have the pickle one or
The Pile On and the date one?
yeah.
No, those are the best ones.
Yeah.
Well, Keith didn't like the Do You Wanna?
No. Well, yeah, I mean, it's specific and it's like
Yeah.
vegan, but I don't know if you're supposed to, but I swirled the
jam?
fake cheese with the jam because I was like, oh, I want it to be like all over.
Mm-hmm. Did you get the vegan version? Did you ask for it vegan?
Yeah.
Nice.
Vegan and gluten-free. So I swirled it together.
Nice.
And I was like, that's great.
Beauty.
So yeah, but probably unpopular opinion, I think that Flora pizza is better.
Floor?
Flora.
Oh, like pizza from the floor?
I actually found somebody random on Instagram made a chart of all the pizza places. They did like a price per whatever. And their list is best pepperoni slice in Hamilton, Cowabunga's, Shorty's, Tony G's, never been there, Flora, Blondie's. And then best garlic dip is Shorty's, Cowabunga, Blondie's, Tony G's, Flora. And then
my pie isn't on any of them?
No. This is their little chart they made.
Cool.
I was like, this is pretty impressive.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason I like my pie the best is the vibe of the place.
Yeah,
Like, you have to eat in for
This is crust, sauce, cheese, overall bonus dip. That's how they decided. So vibe isn't really on here.
no vibe. It's just such a cool vibe.
Yeah.
I love it.
Also, somebody, I don't know who it was, maybe it was you. They were like, what is with Hamilton and shawarma pizza?
No, it wasn't me.
It wasn't you.
Never had it.
Well,
Is
you
it good?
should have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very, I guess, supposedly a Hamilton thing, which I did not know. I thought more places did it.
I do
Yeah.
love a shawarma. I get the falafel, obviously.
Obviously. Anyways.
Yesterday I went to hibachi for my sister's birthday.
Nice.
Yeah, it was fun. They did that thing where they like throw food at you and you have to catch it in your mouth.
Where did you go?
Oakville.
I need a recommendation.
Yeah, it's fun. But I didn't catch it in my mouth.
I
Thought
wouldn't
would.
want to. I feel like I would burn my mouth.
No, it's just like a piece of broccoli. It's not. It wasn't hot.
What else did we do this weekend?
I had my first shoot of the year. It was just a family shoot.
I technically had my first shoots of the year too.
Nice.
I had a couple.
Nice.
One with Dimitri.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I'm so excited to see them. Are they done?
I sent them sneaks
Nice.
because like they're flash, so I feel like they didn't need a lot of editing.
True. So funny.
And so for these ones, he was like, I want the backdrop
Yeah.
in the back.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I want it to look like a crappy
That's funny.
shoot. So I was like, apparently I'm the photographer for this. Yeah.
That's so funny. Those are great.
Yeah.
Good job.
And then I had a family shoot. That was pretty fun. And then went skating on Sunday. It was a very Hamiltonian thing to do.
Where?
Skating at Coots Paradise.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And it was warm on Sunday.
It was perfect for skating.
Was it scary to be there on the warm day?
No.
Okay.
No. The
'Cause
ice,
it's been cold
they
enough.
have, they have like a little sign that says like safe, unsafe. They check the ice. There's people like everywhere. Like,
Yeah. That's good.
yeah.
Was the ice smooth?
No, because it had melted a little bit, and they don't actually like take care of it. Like they don't Zamboni it.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But it's not terrible. Like
It's probably
pond
smoother
skating
today.
Yeah.
Because if there's a warmer day and like the top coat melts a little bit, then it's kind of like a Zamboni.
Yeah. But it was like the perfect day to go skating because it's like, you know, I mean, other than it melting a little bit, but like
Yeah.
it wasn't windy and it was like kind of warm. I wore like my light fall jacket that I wear and t-shirt under there.
Nice.
But I had thrifted snow pants recently, so I put those on and we threw Maisel in the stroller
Nice.
and we whipped around and she loved it. And then Ruben would like pretend run into me and she thought it was hilarious.
And bumper cars.
Yeah.
That's so fun. I want to go.
Yeah, you should. It's definitely something you should experience. And
I did it last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I always think it's scary.
It does feel scary. Like you're just like, I am choosing to trust that this will not crack and I won't sink and die.
Yeah. Yeah.
NBD.
And Keith is never scared of that stuff either. Like he'll just fucking go like as far as he wants, like into the water, into the lake. And I'm like, can you not?
I don't think there's a current in there. I mean, I don't know how currents work, but like I don't think it's like a fast current. So if you fall in, like you probably can just get out.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to go under. I don't
sure.
think.
Yeah. And I think Coots Paradise generally is pretty shallow.
Yeah.
I don't think it's very deep. So
Anyways,
it's so fun we have that here in Hamilton.
yeah. So during COVID though, it was so cool because they had like a fire there. They had skate rental. They had like
hot
fries.
chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like the best. I was like, why is this not here again? Like people would use it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe they're just like, oh, we won't make as much money because not as many people are doing like outdoor activities.
Yeah. Okay, 1 sec. Do you need to go up in the crate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
I downloaded a productivity, what's it called?
I don't know.
It's called Be Present. It's an app and it like helps you not be on your phone. So it like gives you these blackout times where like you can't use any apps on your phone.
Yeah, I think Ruben uses that one.
It's so good. And I've set it so I can go on Instagram 5 times a day for 5 minutes at a time. So like, see how
Pretty
it's
low.
Yeah, I know. See how it's like grayed out?
Yeah.
As soon as I click on it, it's like, are you sure you want to open Instagram? And then,
Never mind.
Yeah, there's a big button that says, never mind, I don't need to. And you can get like streaks. So I have a 2-day streak right now.
And you're so competitive that it works for you perfectly.
I literally open it and then I'm like, do I want to open it? Like, because sometimes my thumb just goes to Instagram.
Yeah.
And I like don't know why. And I'm like, do I really need to go on Instagram? I don't think so. So then I just hit never mind. Or you can open it and then it gives you a timer. And then in the last 30 seconds, it'll remind you. And I'm like, okay, let's get shit done.
The hard thing with me is I feel like a lot of people message me on there and I'm like, can we just move this over to text?
Yeah. So I might have to just, I can't rely on Instagram as a communication anymore.
Yeah.
Because that's how I get stuck on there. Because people are messaging me. So I have to open Instagram. And then I'm like, well, I'm on here. And then I just get lost on reels of like people decorating cakes. Because those are the ones that I get lost in. Specifically baking things.
I would have never have guessed that's where you get trapped on.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's just, I don't know. So that's been working for me. Hardly on my phone now.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Oh, I have a falling asleep trick for you if you still need help falling asleep.
Is it counting sheep?
No. I forget what it's called. It uses like a brain thing where it makes you think of like different things. You like keep going back and forth. So like you think of a word, a short word that really doesn't have any meaning, like road. And then you think of a word that each of those letters start with. So R, you'd say like rabbit. O, you'd say optometrist. I don't know. A,
Wait. Oh, because you're just going through the alphabet?
R-O-A-D. R-O-A-D.
Oh,
so
I see.
A, you'd say apple. And then D, you'd say donkey. And then you'd think of a new word. And you just keep doing that over and over and over again. And honestly, I get past almost like 3 words and then I fall asleep.
Your brain's like, I'm exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, my thing isn't falling asleep, it's staying asleep. But also, like, so, yeah. I mean, last night, I was like, I have to tell Effie because I was like, Ginny she wanted to come on the bed. She has her bed under our bed. Mm-hmm. And sometimes she'll, like, jump on our bed. But for some reason, either there was a pillow in the way or something, or she, like, felt like she couldn't make the jump. Mm-hmm. So she would, like, come to this side of the bed and try, and then she would, like, you hear her nails walk around the other side of the bed and then stand there and then, like, just kept going back for, like, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, eventually I was like, I thought she was going to stop, and then I was, like, awake and, like, sort of hearing her, and she just kept doing it, and I was like, finally I just, like, picked her up and threw her on the bed. And then she did it a second time, and I was like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, listen, I have a kid waking me up. I do not need a dog waking me up. And I was like, I also have a snoring husband. Like, this is, like, just ridiculous.
You need a little ramp for her.
Oh, my gosh, no. Anyways. Yeah, my thing is staying asleep. So I feel like I wake up every hour, and there's always something happening.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can use that trick to get you quickly back to sleep.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Just try it. Works for me.
Try my name, Dorothy.
Yeah.
Dog.
Yes.
Office.
Yes. Good job.
Wow.
You're going to be good at this. It's better if it's shorter words, like 5-letter words or something. So you don't have to think about what's the next letter.
Casablanca. You're like, no, that's too long.
Okay. So let's get into our guest for this week. This week we have Sadie on the podcast. She is a photographer and also the owner of Rooney's, a coffee shop just down the street. So let's give her a call right now.
Hello!
Oh gosh.
We practiced that.
I have my little doodle paper. Sometimes I can like think better if I'm doodling a little bit.
That's a good idea. Do you watch Tyler what's his name? Is it Tyler, the one that's a medium.
I don't know.
Oh no.
Oh, he like doodles and it helps him like connect with.
Like when I'm on the phone with someone, I think better if I'm pacing,
Yeah.
you know? Something's moving.
Speaking of that, do you believe in mediums and talking to the other side?
I don't know if I don't think don't believe, but I
Yeah.
don't really speak to the spirits.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
You guys?
I watch his thing and I'm like, this is real for sure, 100%. And then
Okay.
Keith is like, my husband is always like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've
I
never
think what
watched.
they're doing is like made up a little, but I don't believe almost anything like on the internet, pretty much. like there's like all these detoxes that you can do, and I'm like, none of these work. Do not fall for them.
I believe in like Josh thinks, my husband, thinks it's kind of silly, but like oil of oregano, like I take oil of oregano
Yes,
every
okay,
day,
I believe
and
that.
like
That's good.
echinacea and like all the mushroom immune stuff.
Yeah. I'm
I'm
there
into
with
that.
you. Like a little bit of a health girly. It feels like it's a real trend right now, but I'm here for it.
I went bouldering for the first time yesterday.
Wait.
At Gravity?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yay!
Oh my god. I took Rooney. Well, we took Rooney, Josh and I, and like Josh has bouldered before. I have not. So this morning my grip is like
Yes. Oh my
little
gosh.
sensitive, and my arms, my legs.
I
Yes.
thought you were saying bowling wrong because I saw your bowling video.
We went bowling too. We went bowling and bouldering.
No, bowling is a workout.
It's a good thing you went bouldering,
What?
bowling first.
No, we
Did
went bouldering first.
No, that's wrong.
but it was like the 5-pin like tiny balls.
Oh,
Like,
okay, still. Yeah.
I feel like with most sports I'm like perfectly bad, or like I can get the sport done, or like I can sort of like stand up a bit surfing, but it's ridiculous. Can hit a few pins, but it's always kind of funny.
We can't be good at everything. And I mean, this is a good segue because you are an incredible photographer. So,
Do we have an
that's so
introduction for her? Should we
yeah.
introduce? Dorothy always writes these awesome introductions for the guests.
we normally read it while the guest isn't here.
I know, but I kind of like it.
Oh,
I kind of like it now. Well, they can just like listen about themselves.
Yeah,
Should we do it?
go ahead.
Okay. Today on the pod, we have Katie Sadie, who is a photographer who moved to Hamilton and started Rooney's, named after her daughter, with a passion for capturing raw, intimate, and compelling narratives through her lens. Originally from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Katie's work is deeply influenced by a curiosity for human connection and the stories that often go unnoticed. Her impressive portfolio includes collaborations with renowned publications like The Globe and Mail, Nylon Guys, and Report on Business Magazine. No way.
I'm like, Effie's learning all this right now.
With a career that spans editorial, documentary, and personal projects, Katie's work bridges art and humanity with a unique voice that invites viewers to pause and reflect. A recipient of the prestigious Flash Forward Emerging Photographer Award and a participant in the Naked State Art Residency, Katie is now bringing this world to Hamilton. Sorry. This is crazy. I don't know what any of these mean,
Yeah.
but it sounds cool, especially the naked one.
I actually just had, is it done? Yeah. A client meeting on Saturday, and they had gotten I guess a list of like photographers from you, and they were just talking about how amazing like Rooney's is, and like basically like what you've brought to Hamilton and stuff. So it's like really cool to see like it's touching like a lot of people, obviously.
That's really sweet. I feel like now I'm nervous. My heart is like pounding. Like, okay, I gotta slow down, and I think we'll just chat, right?
Yes, it's just a chat. This isn't anything.
How many listeners
Professional.
do we have?
I'm a listener, so
We probably have like, I don't know, a couple hundred.
Have we checked lately?
I'll check.
I feel like Claire's got the most listens.
Yeah. it really depends on the promotion after
Yeah.
the podcast and like
And cross promotion, like
Yes. that's
yeah.
what I mean.
yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to Josh this morning about it. I was like, how like candid or like what kind of ridiculous stuff can I talk about or should I talk about? He was like, just be open and honest and then you'll be the most happy with it. And I think that's true. Yeah.
And we can talk about anything you want. Like we have questions just to help us along if we stop talking, but if there are specific things that you want to talk about, we would be happy to chat about them.
Although I really do. We've never really sat down and had a conversation, although like I started coming into Rooney's when I was pregnant and not in a good mood. And
iced rooibos.
Yeah.
The
There's a picture of those. But like I just wonder how you got into like this niche area. Like before you, I like really hadn't met anybody, and like I guess you would call it, is it journalism?
Okay, yeah. So I feel like in order to sort of get the idea of my photo career, we have to start from the beginning.
Yeah, let's start in Winnipeg.
No, not okay. That was where I was born.
Yeah.
Okay, but I only lived there for the first year of my life.
Yeah.
So my dad is a retired airline pilot for Air Canada. He was like the most senior pilot there, forced to retire after like 30 years. But he flew in Winnipeg for a very short time. And that's when I was born. Nice. So like he was from Toronto, but was working in Winnipeg for a bit. And that's when my mom and him had me. But then moved back here after a year. Like it was very
okay.
short. Yeah.
So you don't remember it?
No, but that being said, I feel like I am still from Winnipeg. Like I've got
I get that
blood like running through me, I think. And I do think it makes people a bit different. But yeah, so that's my Winnipeg history.
Did you know Winnipeg is the longitudinal center of Canada or something?
Nope. Now I do.
It means it's like the centermost point of Canada.
Cool.
I just learned that.
I thought it meant like that everybody lives below it.
Does it?
Probably.
I'm going to look it up, but I thought it just meant it was the center.
I feel like we cut off Katie. I was like, what's next?
I have to throw in Winnipeg facts.
Why?
Oh, yeah, you got to. It's cold there.
It's cold. My parents are also, my mom is also from Winnipeg. She grew up there.
Oh, no way.
That's cool. Yeah. So, did she ever go to the BDI? It was like an ice cream place.
Probably, yes.
You should call her and ask.
Yeah, ask her about the BDI.
I think they did talk about this once, and they said that it changed names. Did it change a name?
It's possible.
Okay. I don't know. That's the thing to do there?
That's the only like thing I don't know. That's like the only thing I can bring up that I maybe remember.
Yeah, I'm sure they went.
Okay, yeah, and then photography. So I guess at some point my parents gave me, or my dad gave me his old Minolta 35 millimeter, and I started shooting like on weekends.
How old were you when they gave it to you?
I guess I was probably in like high school. That starts in grade 6 or 7, right? 7?
High school's grade 9.
9? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it's different in Winnipeg.
Maybe, but
not that you were there.
Not there anymore.
Before high school.
Okay.
Sometime before high school. Anyway, so I would shoot on the weekends, just like nature, or I would use my car headlights to create different lighting.
Yeah.
Fun things with my car. And then I would also ask my friends to pose for portraits. And that ended up being the photos I used to get into Sheridan. Ooh.
Oh, nice.
What program did you get into at Sheridan?
Photography.
Nice.
So I went to Sheridan, and at that point I thought I was going to be a fashion photographer. Like I really wanted to be a fashion photographer. And that was what I was always shooting, focusing on throughout the whole time at Sheridan. You know, like a lot of people party and like go out at university and college. I was always the DD, and like I didn't ever like go out. I like I got my first boyfriend in college. Like that was my first boyfriend in college. Okay.
I mean,
Nice.
I'm on the same page.
I was a very late bloomer, and so I never went out really. But then once I graduated and moved to Toronto, that's like when I really started to party and go out. And I was also interning at Fashion Magazine Canada as the photo editor assistant. And like I worked hard. Like I definitely worked hard at that job, but because I was partying so much, I feel like I probably missed out on some big opportunities within
Yeah.
that industry. But I still finished the internship, and then I remember meeting up with my photo editor, like just to like catch up a little bit after, and I showed up just so hungover and so messed up. But I kept working in the fashion industry for years after that. You could probably still look it up. I was on like a top 10 blog TO fashion photographers list.
No way.
You could probably find it. And like I was doing pretty like well, like not
Yeah.
making a lot of money, but making those lists and like creating a lot, like just pumping out fashion stories, working with stylists and makeup artists that were also like making really cool stuff. And then I just got really sick of it. I moved to Leslieville and lived in a really beautiful photo studio, like huge loft. I had multiple backdrops and just a lot of fun stuff to play with, but
Mhm.
I just got sick of working with stylists and makeup artists, and like
Yeah.
I shot for a lot of model agencies, worked with a lot of sweet people, but I just got bored of it. So then I ended up. Do you know what Buns Trading Zone is?
I've
Anyone?
heard of it. I don't think I've ever used it.
I used to do that all the time in Toronto.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So you know what that is. So
Yeah.
I had like 15 different backdrops, all different colors, studio lighting, like all that stuff. I traded it all for film. So you could come to
Right.
me with like 10 rolls of medium format or 35 millimeter, whatever you wanted. I would use it. I wasn't picky. And I would give you a backdrop or two backdrops, or like I was just trading my photo gear away
Yeah.
so that I could collect film, and then eventually move out of that studio and change things up. So I did that, got a shit ton of film, and then I also bought a camper van um, for like $3,000, and then worked on it so that it was well enough to be on the road. Um, Moved out of my studio, couch surfed to make more money so that I had like a lump sum of money to go hit the road.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Van
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, van life.
How old were you?
When van life was like just getting popular. Like it
Oh
was
my
just
gosh.
I was like part of the beginning of that movement.
Yeah,
I would
you
have
could have
been
become an influencer if you
yes.
tried.
uh it was 20 this was like 2015,
Okay.
like middle of 2015, so it's that 10 years ago. So
Wow.
I would have been 28, 27, 28.
Yeah.
So fun. By yourself.
Um yeah, so I did that all by myself.
Scary.
Uh no, it
Okay.
was really really thrilling.
Good.
I've
Um
I didn't do it quite as young, but I did like a car camping trip across like California with my pal Joanna, but I think it was like 2018. So,
hmm.
and we would like stay on Crown Land and like camp. And she, before I joined her for like a chunk of that, she did couch surfing and she would tell me like where she slept. And I was like, I feel unsafe for you.
Yeah, I mean there's definitely a few points where I would definitely not do that these days.
Yeah.
Like sleeping or like parking in Oakland in certain spots, and uh I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
Gotta be
Maybe
safe.
not. Yeah. But I'm alive and it all worked out. But the whole point of that trip was to build a portfolio, like a documentary photojournalism portfolio that then I could share with photo editors and get jobs with newspapers and take that. I totally change the route I was headed on. Like, screw fashion. I don't give a shit about telling you to furrow your eyebrows and like whatever. Smize. I just wanted to like document real life and what was actually happening in front of me. So I came home with like over 80 rolls of medium format to process and scan, and then start entering different contests now. Instead of shooting fashion stories and submitting them to fashion blogs and fashion magazines, it was like, okay, there's different contests, for doc stuff.
Yeah.
Just start doing that and see where it got me. And then that's how I ended up getting that Flash Forward award. I made this series, which is now kind of really like not cringy, but kind of funny to think about now. It was just all basketball nets, which all another craze, like got really popular for a while. People,
Yeah.
I think I started that, honestly. I
Good
think
job.
I started the basketball net thing.
There's so many trends out there in film.
Yeah.
It's like you see these memes and it's like, oh, like when a film photographer sees the corner of a car.
Yeah, the car, yeah. Or like undercover cars, when they're all covered with like the nice protector
Yeah.
thing.
It feels like you can't really do anything original anymore.
Maybe not. But so I called it Netscapes.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so I won an award for that. And I remember back then this photographer that I'm friends with still, he won that award, and I remember going to the gallery show for that, and he sort of said like, it's sort of a benchmark. Once you win this award, like you might continue on to good things, I guess.
Yeah.
So I won that award, and then from that award, I got my first cover for Report on Business magazine. Because an editor saw it, right?
Yeah.
So what was the photo?
That photo was oh man, I should have looked up like my notes on these things. It was for home hardware. It was like the CEO dude of home hardware. I took his portrait in St. Jacobs because that was like the first home hardware out there.
Oh, nice.
Which was really fun, and the editor, the photo editor, came out with me, and like we road tripped out there, and after the shoot we went to like I think there's like a big farmers market that happens out there, or we went to that together, and I think I forgot my wallet, so she had to buy me whatever I was buying that day, which was kind of cute. But yeah, that was that.
Nice. Congrats.
Oh yeah, thanks. So that was fun, but that was so I got back from the trip 2016 and then started working my butt off 2017, 2018. And then it's so funny, on Facebook memories, things will pop up. The other day, there was this memory. We took Josh to New York for the first time, like this time in 2019. And I met with photo editors at the New York Times, and I like posted a photo like 29, like I had a visitor sticker. I took a picture of a visitor sticker for the New York Times. I was like 2019 goals. And then 3 months later I got pregnant. so that goal was like, that goal was put on hold. Still is on hold, but yeah, it's just funny how, life happens. And then I did continue on working some personal projects, but I wasn't really working so much in the photo. Actually, that's a complete lie. I was doing stills. I was doing still photography on what are those like really popular Christmas movies? Hallmark.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yes, so this interview is going to be jumping all over the place. I don't know.
okay.
I don't know. Okay. So I was doing stills on Hallmark movies and working in the film industry. I was like a picture car coordinator from late 2017 until 21 days before Rooney was born.
Wow.
So while still shooting all this Hallmark stuff, I was also working full-time coordinating cars for film and television.
Cool.
And it was good because that boss allowed me to sort of like, hey, I've got this shoot in Winnipeg, I've got this shoot in Vancouver on this movie, like I gotta take a couple days off. And he's like, okay, whatever.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How does one even get
and
a job on Hallmark?
People
that
that you know.
one day I got a call from New York. They said my website was bookmarked, and they were just like, I want to work with her one day, and they
No
finally
way.
called me up, and they're like, can you be in Winnipeg on this day or whatever, shoot some stills for us. And then after that, I think I only did like 3 or 4 movies with them, but that actually allowed me to save enough up for the down payment of my house.
Wow.
Amazing.
Like, yeah.
Now
So
Hallmark is filmed all over Hamilton, so you should get back into it.
I know, right? Like it's
Yeah.
I don't know what it is like now. I'm sure maybe it's a bit different, but it paid really, really well.
Yeah.
Really,
Was it
really well.
film that you were shooting for that too?
No, just
Okay.
like I would rent a mirrorless and just hang out on set and take photos of like random shit.
That's awesome.
And then gallery photos of the actors if they had time. Like I took photos of Jennifer Goodwin. You know
Oh yeah.
her? That
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, and one of the sets was in Nickelback's house. Like in it has like their big mansion. I don't even know who the lead. What's his name? The long hair guy.
Something Kruger.
Is it Chris?
Chad.
Chad
Chad.
Kruger? Shoot, we need to cut this part out.
No, I'm
Chad
keeping
Kruger.
it because I remembered.
I just thought his name was Nickelback.
Or is it Kroger?
It could be Kroger.
So I did that, and then Rooney. So I moved to Hamilton, December 2019, and then Rooney was born December 21st, 2019.
Right.
And then when did you start Rooney's?
Okay.
Years ago?
So now it's been almost 3 years.
Oh, okay.
So I was on mat leave, and then COVID happened too. So I was on mat leave for like 2 years. What felt like maybe it was actually 2 years. But and then much like I'm sure different industries, once you're out of work or out of an industry for a little bit, once you've worked so hard to like make a little bit of a name for yourself and you disappear for 2 years on mat leave or whatever, you get sick, whatever, you're forgotten.
Yeah,
so
I'm so scared of.
That seems like really shocking for like photography though, because I mean, I guess if you had like kept your gallery going somehow, maybe, or just because you weren't actually showing up at gigs, people were like out of sight, out of mind.
It might be different for maybe like Effie, like for your kind of photography where you've got a client base and you might be able to call them back up and be like, hey, I'm back, like if you want photos for whatever. But for me, it was like you have to work on those personal projects and have those photo editors see your work constantly, or else they won't think about you, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's much easier for us because, like, for example, I shot until like, I don't know, 3 weeks before Maisel was due, and then I technically took like 4 months off, and like I would only make sure that I shot like repeat clients, and I just took less, but like you can still keep it going essentially, like also while you're on a mat leave, you know what I mean? Like I'm sure it's a lot harder for like you if you have to travel somewhere and like literally leave your child or bring them along. That's like a little bit different. then
Yeah, like I was one standout assignment that I got before all that happened too. I was sent to, oh my God, why do I always forget? Sarepta. Where the hell
I
is
don't know
Sarepta
that.
again?
I don't know where that is.
Never
One
heard of
sec.
it. Sarepta.
Louisiana, duh. I was sent
Oh,
to Louisiana. There was this story on 4x4s. Um, this event called Redneck Revival, and it is exactly what you think it was. It was people driving through mud
oh yeah,
in
I've seen those. I
Louisiana.
think.
Yeah,
Yep.
and like I was just there as a photographer and also um oh my God, reporter. That's the word.
Nice.
Reporting. I was reporting and taking photos. But yeah, so I could never go to Louisiana as a pregnant person to report and
No,
drive through the mud. So
no.
it's a little bit different than like showing up to a client,
Yeah.
shooting a wedding. Like I stayed in Montana at like basically a dive motel, drove. Yeah. Anyways, it was a little bit different.
Crazy life.
But that's what I loved. Like I still, after opening Rooney's, like I always pictured myself not really working there eventually, and like still shooting and still going on assignments and maybe working more in the production side of newspapers or magazines. Yeah.
That's cool. Wow, what a life. Okay, and then on to Rooney's. Did we talk
Okay.
about opening it yet, or why you did? And
I don't think so.
okay.
Um, so then, okay, so mat leave, and then I didn't work. I needed a job really badly because I wasn't getting photo work. I was still submitting to magazines and newspapers. I shot this story on a friend in town who had a miscarriage, and I was like determined to get her story out to the newspapers and like shed light on miscarriages because there's such a mystery. But no one was taking it. I had beautiful portraits of her, and it was like very quiet, and had a nice time taking photos of her and talking to her about it and reading about her story. You can read that on my website, actually.
Okay.
It's called Nadine's Story. And so nothing, yeah, I couldn't get work, but I needed a job, obviously. So a friend of mine hooked me up with a friend that was looking for workers. And basically, what I did was drive 10 hours a day delivering flower bouquets all over southern Ontario. Like
Wow.
it was the only positive part about that job was allowing me to just listen to podcasts and like
Yeah.
be alone, um and not have to deal with anyone. But yeah, with that alone time, I just kept thinking like, what the hell am I doing with my life? I'm not a flower delivery person. I can't do this. I appreciated having the job, like
Yeah.
grateful for the job, but not what I wanted to do. And every morning I would drop Rooney off at daycare, and it was across the street from where Rooney's is now. So I would drive by the orange little facade, and I would see it was for release, and just kind of joking with Josh, like, what if I opened something up? Like I have so much coffee experience. There's no other photo book spot in like Ontario. How about I just try? And while I was in between like delivering bouquets, I would call the real estate agent, be like, okay, let's book this. I'm gonna just check it out. Why not, right? And went to the viewing, and I just was like, okay, this is it. Like I'm gonna do this, and it just kind of snowballed from there. And I kept just like, calling licensing or like checking things off the list, right?
Yeah.
As I was working this shitty job. And eventually it all just kind of came together, and I was able to quit that job and open up Rooney's.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And this neighborhood really needed it. It needs stuff like walkable from our houses that like we can go grab coffee and hang And like,
I feel like the only thing that's similar is Toronto. They have like the magazine, like the magazines and the books. Forget like there's two of
Issues.
them.
There's
Yeah,
issues, but
yeah.
you can't just. There's no like.
You can't peruse them.
You can. It's nice. I do like it there. But it's different vibes. Like you
Yeah,
wouldn't be able to go and just sit and have a coffee.
yeah.
Um,
It's more like you're looking around to like more or less purchase and then leave.
Yeah, I wanted a space where you could come and meet other people, meet photographers, creatives, and that's why there is only one table. You're forced to sit beside each other and talk.
mhm.
And some people love that, some people hate it, but
Mhm.
um, but that's the way it is. At the beginning, people were like, "So when are you gonna add some more tables?" Like, I'm not. I'm not. Sorry. But yeah, I wanted like community to come back, especially after the pandemic too, like come
Yeah,
back and talk to one another. And at the beginning I would witness like folks meeting each other in real life for the first time, like, oh hey, I follow you on Instagram. Um
Mhm.
now I've met you in real life. That's kind of cool. But yeah, um that's I think I answered your question.
yeah. I mean,
I
the space like brings what you did and like other stories basically to Hamilton. Like it's definitely like a form of photography that I haven't really like learned too much about. Like I was also just handed a camera, but I did graphic design before. And then, I had met like Claire, so I just naturally followed kind of what everybody else was doing in Hamilton and doing like portraiture, and it was like an easier route, right? Like I didn't study photography and then think, I should go into fashion. Like I like it's amazing to hear like the different branches of photography, and then also like how you just like completely switch gears and you're like, I went from basically people being like perfect and put together, and then just like we're gonna like capture life as it's like literally happening. It's so crazy.
Yeah, yeah. At that time too, I was really inspired by I don't know, the street photographers too. I got over that, but I was definitely like inspired by those folks too, just walking around and capturing what was interesting in front of them or
Yeah,
what they thought was interesting too.
sometimes it seems like we get to be in like the perfect place and the perfect like time, because it's like if anything had like maybe shifted, your story would be like different. Like even the fact that like van life was like relatively new, and like like you were using buns instead of like I don't know what other like
Facebook
Facebook
Yeah.
Marketplace.
marketplace.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't have gotten film. You would have just asked for money. Like there's
Hmm.
so many things that could have gone differently. So it's really cool to see like it all just like line up and it doesn't feel like a coincidence.
Yeah, at
It's
that
really
time
cool.
too, I was really inspired by Ed Templeton. You guys like
Oh, I don't
Ed?
know him. Don't
Okay.
know Ed.
It's like skateboard culture. He's a photographer
Oh,
too. But he would often take these photos at a pier in Venice, California. And so for my whole mission of that trip was like to get to California. It was like, I'm taking my time getting my way to California. Um, I parked for over a month in Venice. And like I would go to that pier, like hoping I would maybe run into Ed, but I never did. But I spent a lot of time there, um, but I made some great friends. Uh, and oh yeah, so I took photos there a lot as well. And then when I came back, I sent some to Ed. I was like, oh, maybe he'll respond to me. And he did. He was like, I think he said something like, great shot.
and then you realize he's just human.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh yeah, we're all the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, so definitely some folks that were inspiring me along the way. Oh yeah, oh my gosh, I just feel like I have so much to say. And
Go
then
for it.
and then so the mission was California, but I was also kind of following the route of like the pioneers of color photography. Um, like Christian Barry and like William Christian Barry, and I think that's his name. And oh my god, the photo with
Oh, Tyler?
the red, no, red with the light bulbs. Someone's gonna listen to this and they're gonna be like yelling at their computer. I know who it is. Eggleston. Duh. Okay. Like this, you guys know this photo. Come on, hang on. You know this photo.
I don't know it.
Okay. And then there's also the green barn. Oh, yeah, so there's a green barn. If you search green barn, William Christian Barry, it's in Alabama. So I went to this barn. I found some certain spots that like real photo pioneers took photos of and like their route, and I was super geeky and kind of followed their little routes.
That's so cool.
It was really cool. And at that point Josh was with me. So he got to geek out over those things with me too.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love all the different like styles of photography that I'm learning about now. Like, I don't know, just because my background is like people, it's like families, weddings, corporate and stuff. And then like all this other stuff that you have in your shop and stuff is just like, it's different. It's like not something that I would take a picture of and be like, I need to publish this, because like it's not, that's not like what my brain thinks, or like that's not like something that's gonna somehow make me money. It's just like almost a different world, even though I'm a photographer.
There's so much out there, and like even those books that I put on the shelf, like that is heavily curated by myself because there's just so much out there, and it's so fun for me to go through the publishers' catalogs and decide like what I want to put on the shelf. And it is heavily documentary stuff. Like that is kind of my vibe, and that's what I like looking at, and hopefully other people like looking at too.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about, for the viewers who've never been to Rooney's, Katie puts on a show or like an art gallery on one of her blank walls in the shop, like once a month. It's a different person.
Every 2 months.
Every 2 months. Right now there's one that's like, he's a runner, but also a photographer. And I guess he takes inspiration from that. So he's a runner for a running photographer. I don't know.
It reminds me of Yes Man.
Photographer.
Remember Yes Man, where Zoe Deschanel like is like, we run and we take photos.
Oh, I don't know that part.
Have you not seen that movie?
Maybe. Is it a rom-com? Because that's what I like.
Kind of. Yes Man. Like, what's his name is in it?
Oh, Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
Oh, I've probably seen it.
Should send it to Andre.
Yeah.
Can you talk about why you decided to do that?
I think I always thought I'd have a gallery wall, but when I was first starting the shop, I posted about potentially opening up a photo book shop to my Instagram, and there was a few photographers that got super stoked about it, and one being Naomi Harris, who is like an incredible photographer. And she wanted to help out any way she could. So I talked to her a lot before opening up the shop, and she was the first photographer on the wall at Rooney's, and she showed work from her book called Haddon Hall. And that was like, I really looked up to Naomi. So that was like a huge deal for the shop and for me, and like, I don't know, really, really cool. But from there, I just really wanted to kind of like push the limits on who I could get on the wall. And it was just important to keep chipping away at that.
Are they all like local Hamilton people, or are they just from anywhere?
They're from anywhere. So Naomi is from North York. From Naomi, we had Kristen Bedford.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like, she's from LA. Like she flew out from LA to show at Rooney's and like speak.
Wow.
I picked her up from the hotel, whatever. And I mean the airport, not hotel. And that was really cool because her book is all about lowrider culture, like car culture, and I have a personal project on the GTA lowrider culture and community. So I know lowrider car clubs around here. So I was able to invite people to bring their lowriders to Rooney's, and I don't know if this has ever happened in Hamilton history, but I got them to close down my section of Main Street. I was able to cone it off so that I could have a mini car show in front of Rooney's
Oh,
for her launch, which was really cool.
nice. Go.
Yeah, so it's just like really fun for me to continue curating the books, the wall, and I love planning these events. It's really just, I don't know,
Yeah.
selfishly fun for me to do.
The closest I ever got to doing something like that is when, so Alan, who is a friend of Victor, who runs the motorcycle
Oh yeah, Motor
brand,
Social.
they were having a motor social, and Alan was like, "Yeah, like come hang out." And I'm like, "I don't ride a bike," so I basically like went there and like took a bunch of photos and interviewed Alan. But like, yeah, I'm like, I stick out like a sore thumb here. Like, you know, but it's like, it's so true. It's like, did you ever feel like, I don't know, like, I sometimes even have it with like weddings. You're just like, I'm up at the front, and like, it's hard not to feel like not anxious, but like just, I mean, there's this thing going around that says like your photographer's personality matters. And I think like on a wedding day, like you do have to interact with, your subject, you could say, more than say if you're just documenting, like basically street photography style that like you're doing. So like I'm mostly saying like, yeah, like have you ever felt like uncomfortable being in a space
Ooh.
where
Oh,
like when you did
naked
the
state, the nudity,
yeah.
the so so with creating that big portfolio of doc stuff, I was applying to all sorts of residencies. I was like, I need to build more work. I need to make more, 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 more. So I would apply to residencies to try and create different bodies of work, get into different communities, like meet all sorts of different people. And so I was like, yeah, I'll apply to this residency, this naturism residency. No, I won't even get in. Like, it's fine. And I got into it, and it was 10 days at a naturist community. Like,
Oh, a nudist
different
community?
different
I know
than
what that is.
nudism,
Okay.
nudies, but it's the same. Essentially, you can wear like one piece of clothing, or like they do allow some textiles, but it's essentially, yeah, I was going to be naked for 10 days documenting this community.
Cool.
So yeah, it was really sweet. But like, it is sweet, but picture yourself like naked, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
taking photos naked.
I
Everyone
lunge
else
a
is
lot when I take photos.
yeah, like it's you don't really know how to prepare for that. I will say that because like we're just so used to wearing clothes
Yeah.
and being covered, and then once you're asked like you cannot wear clothes. Like this is you can't do it. You won't be
Yeah.
you're making other people feel uncomfortable if you're wearing clothes,
Right.
basically.
So they basically asked you to like join their culture in that scenario.
Yeah. Yeah. So you strip down, and then that was way, 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 way out, like super not street photography. Like you don't want to be creeping around, like just capturing what you think was a good photo. So I created like a whole sheet of questions, and I sat down with each person and went through a questionnaire and really got to know them before taking their portrait,
Mm.
um, and then talked to them after, like a debrief, like how did you feel with having a camera in front of you, like when you're nude,
Mhm.
and then yeah, really chat with them. So that
What were
was
most of their takes for that? Like, what was like the the consensus? Like people love it and it's like freeing, or I
Yeah.
imagine
Yeah,
that's
they love it. They do that's all they know though too. Like I have photos that will never see the internet of the kids that live in the community where they were born, and they're just brought right there, and that's all they know. Like
Where
they
is this?
um it's just like 45 minutes outside of Toronto.
Oh,
It's
because I
called
always see the one that says Ponderosa
Yeah.
Nudist Resort on the highway. I see
Highway
that
it's
sign.
6 or whatever.
it's not that one,
No,
No.
but
but that's like a
it's
resort. Like I imagine that's like somewhere you just go to be
well,
nude.
this one you can like you guys could go in the summer or winter, buy a pass and go for the day. You could do that.
I'm not
But
going
there's
in the
people
winter.
Yeah.
I do want to like do like a check-in on, or like see if there's some folks that I took photos of that are still there, but do it in the winter
That
sometime.
would be fun.
I did reach out to the fellow that runs the spot, and they're like, you can come anytime, but I haven't done it yet. Um,
So
but
people live there.
full
Some
time,
people.
yeah. Like there's trailers, there's homes.
Oh,
Yeah, picture like folks like maintaining their lawn with their hoses, their lawnmowers, just like naked.
that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's like a little like man-made lake and all sorts of stuff. You
Wow.
can do anything.
It
Just
must
go on
not
a
feel like
stroll, go
real life.
snowshoeing.
Like it
Yeah,
must
no,
feel like
it's a little
yeah, like you're in like visiting like Wonderland or something. Like it's not
yeah.
just like it's like an activity to go do. Like
No, for sure. And
yeah.
that's what it felt like too. It was kind of like, oh, you're in this gated community and you don't really leave, or like yeah, you don't know what's going on in the real world.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
not real.
It felt like that.
That's crazy.
I mean, do you have like a dream project or subject that you would love to explore that you're working on now?
I do want to keep working on the lowrider community in the GTA. I think I'll just kind of like chip away at that, but just for fun. I'm just so curious. Mostly, I'm curious about different communities, but it's just so interesting to me how you can take this car and morph it into something completely different,
Yeah.
and and like the gatherings they have, like the yearly barbecues and such. Uh, um, but aside from that, I still want to be like not not a barista at Rooney's eventually, and manage it from a little bit afar and work on my photo stuff. There was someone else that was really inspiring to me, a friend of mine that owns Mercury Espresso Bar in Toronto. Her name is Louisa Duran, and she is also a makeup artist. But she owns two locations now in Toronto, but is flying around all over the world doing makeup.
Mhm.
And like this spot is really successful in Toronto, and I always sort of reach out to her for different coffee advice, and we keep in touch. And that was sort of like what I hoped eventually I could do, is step away from the shop and have it run like a well-oiled machine, and
Yeah.
then keep working on photography or something creative.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever thought of doing some sort of project like within Rooney's? So it's like meta. It's like photography within Rooney's.
What does that mean?
Like you should put up a gallery wall, like your
Oh, like
it should
my
be
stuff.
but it should be of Rooney's people or
Yeah.
something.
Like everyday
Oh.
life at Rooney's, but like not. Yeah,
That's a good idea.
I don't know if it is, but
No, I've never thought of that.
like if
People
like
of Rooney's.
you know, like if
Well,
someone is having like a really hard moment and they happen to walk into Rooney's and you're like, "Can I just take your photo?"
Oh yeah, yeah. Let me just hang on, hold that.
I'd say yes.
Maybe one day, but I wanted to really focus on other people
Yeah.
and curate it. Like that is the fun part. Really, really important part to me is curating.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's the post-production side and like production side of my brain that is pretty strong.
Yeah.
Last year, you were telling me that you were going to work part-time somewhere.
Oh yeah. So I did one photo editing job with McLean's.
Ah.
So I was trying to juggle. So back then for the first year and a half, I opened and closed Rooney's every single day. So that looked like being up at 6:30 a.m. and staying until about 6 p.m. And every single day. And then I also was trying to really push that dream of mine of working at a magazine while owning Rooney's. And I tried that. I did try it for one story, and it went okay. But I just feel like I didn't have much time to focus on that work. But what that looked like was the magazine gave me a story they were working on, and I had to source the photography for it, which I love. I do love doing that. It's cool. But that's what that was. And I never did it again after that. But I would do it again. But I would do it again. Just, I do like to work hard.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I hope you do get the chance to do that again
Yeah, me too.
real soon.
Thanks.
I don't
Yeah.
have anybody.
Well,
to
maybe
connect
this
you to.
podcast will, maybe someone will listen and be like, yeah,
Yeah.
Onwards
let's
and
do
upwards.
it. Yeah.
Starting with the podcast.
Yeah.
You never know who's gonna be listening.
Well,
Yeah.
now I'm not there bajillion hours a day. I've got 3 employees, including myself. So
Amazing.
mhm.
Here's a fun question. Give me your top 3 to 5 favorite local coffee shops in Hamilton.
No.
Other than
There's like
Rooney's.
10 in Hamilton, so you're going to leave
Top
out
3 to 5.
Top 3 to 5. Okay.
Easy.
I go. Hmm?
Not you. I want to hear Katie's.
So I've been going to the Cannon since they were located across the street and before Chris owned it. Like when Rooney was first born, that was what I looked forward to on mat leave, walking with her to get a scone and like a coffee.
Mhm.
So Cannon for sure. I like Synonym a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And third, well, where else do I go?
Bathco, One for All, Finn, Small.
Oh yeah, One for All is great. Oh my god, One for All and yeah, Finn. They're all really good.
Yeah.
But I'd say like my emotional attachment would be Canon. Like that's like, yeah. Even though Chris has you've never been to Canon.
I've never been.
Although right after
or
this.
Synonym. I've never been to
they've
either.
They've got really good treats too, like
I
really
love
yummy
treats.
stuff. Yeah.
She's like hanging out with like the person who goes to a coffee shop like literally every day, and she hasn't been to Canon or Synonym. I'm like, this is shocking.
We go to Pinch a lot and Rooney.
Oh yeah, Pinch. Okay, I feel like I should just shout out everyone.
Yeah, go for
Everyone's really great.
Yeah.
Pinch is awesome.
They all have their own like niche, you know? And
yeah.
Yeah.
They have plants.
Although, yeah, I feel like maybe the owner of Canon, Chris, should come to Rooney's. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
He lives really close.
Nice. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Add to my list of places I need to go.
And there's more coming. There's Dark Horse now by the Indigo. And then the Run one that's opening. I forget what it's called.
I think, is it called Run?
I think it's called Run. And then there's Detour, 2 of them.
I should shout out Detour. Detour is like the most awesome roaster to work with. Like they're so great too.
I mean, we didn't say St. James or Mulberry.
I've been to Mulberry.
St. James is a good breakfast.
Mulberry doesn't count. Mulberry is OG Hamilton.
Yes. Yeah, it's cozy.
Yeah.
So many places.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We should do a tour.
Okay.
It's a little money.
So little
it's
money.
$5 per coffee.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get a matcha latte at each one, I guess.
That's going to be your most expensive drink.
Is there anything you wanted to chat about that you were thinking this is something that I wanted to say or bring to the table, or a tip or
A tip.
hope for people?
Well, since I'm talking on a podcast, I can always shout out to Josh Emter, my husband, who's a really awesome Hamilton tattooer.
Yeah.
So look him up and get tattooed.
Did he do the
Shameless.
Rooney sign on the windows?
Oh, no, I should shout out Josh Bowler. Oh my gosh. Josh Bowler is a really, really awesome sign painter.
Yeah.
He designed our first mug. He did our window. He did our washroom sign. He did our patio sign.
Oh, those are cool.
And now, actually, coming out in the next little bit, we've got our own roast with Detour, and his designs are going to be on that too.
And
So
we're going to do another taste testing.
Oh, yeah.
We should
Yeah.
just say Maddie and Brad
Oh,
in this episode so we can tag them.
yeah. We're, you know what, honestly and actually, Brad, shout out Brad Leone.
Yeah.
Local Legends. I sent Local Legends to Lucas, who does our hot takes videos.
Yes.
And I was like, I really like this intro of Local Legends. Like, let's kind of like do that vibe. And that's how that came about.
Those videos are so good.
We should ask, well, I guess that would be stealing, but I'd be like, we should ask Lucas to do our second coffee tasting.
You should, yeah, we could definitely do that. Yeah.
Funny story, I actually worked with Lucas for 1 week.
Doing what?
I worked at Feed the Social for
I don't know
1
what that
week. It's a Instagram like business that basically like did your video and photography. So I worked for them for 1 week. I was just new being a photographer, and I was going to work for them. And then, so I got hired and everything, and I was there for like literally a week. And then I was like, you know what? I can make more money just doing this on my own. So I quit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lucas is great. Yeah. And he was really good at it.
He does a very good job.
Yeah, he's doing Pinterest stuff too.
Nice.
Mhm.
Nice.
Cool.
Okay, Katie, where can people find you?
At
On
Rooney's.
Instagram and wherever.
Oh, yeah. You can find me at Rooney's. You better come and buy coffee. We're at Main and Sherman Ave, close to Gage Park, close to Shoppers Drug Mart, close to Big Top Diner.
Close to the daycare drop-off.
Yeah.
Close to daycare drop-off, close to Adelaide Hoodless School. And then, so I'm there a lot, but not too much. And then you can find me at Katie Sadie Photo on Instagram, and then Shop Rooney's on Instagram.
Beauty. What's your website?
You had to finish it.
Yeah. So my website, one quick note. I used to have a really nice website, and then I let the thing expire, like the
domain.
Yeah, the domain expire. So now it's just like a format website. You can still look up my work. katiesadie.com, I guess, /format or whatever it is.
Okay.
If you Google Katie Sadie photography, you should be able to find me.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming onto the podcast.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Hopefully you can edit all this blabbing.
No, I loved it. All the blabbing just like makes you, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's cute.
Good.
All right.
Right.
Well, we'll see you at Rooney's.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Do you want to talk about Lion?
Yeah. Did you watch it?
I did. So this week we watched the movie Lion, and it's about these two brothers in India who go out to do a night job just to make some more money for their family. And the young kid, once they get to the job, he's too tired to work. So he sleeps on the train platform and waits for his brother to come back. But in the middle of the night, he wakes up and freaks out that his brother's not there. So he goes onto this train that's stationed there. And kind of is looking for his brother and ends up falling asleep on the train, waking up again, going like for 3 days nonstop somewhere. So he's like by himself. He's probably like 6 or 7. He's 5. And ends up getting off in the middle of nowhere in India. Doesn't know where he is. He doesn't really know where he lives. He doesn't know the name of his mother. He knows his brother's first name.
Crazy.
And so it's just a story of him kind of surviving by himself as a child in India and then ending up at an orphanage, getting adopted by this family in Australia, and then growing up there 25 years later, realizing that he wants to go back to India to find his mom and his brother. So he ends up like using Google Earth basically to figure out what station he was at.
Which is like, how?
So wild. So
like, because a lot would have changed.
Yeah. But like he remembers the walk home, like, because he used to do it every day. He ended up going back and finding out that his brother had died that night, that he got lost. But his mom was there, and it's like it's crazy. It's a true story.
That movie's like really hard for me to watch.
It was,
I mean, it's hard for
very
everybody.
difficult. Yeah.
Like, but like being like technically, I guess, am I an orphan? I'm not an orphan.
You have a very similar experience.
Well, yes and no. Just like not having parents around, and then like watching his story is like just so heartbreaking. Like I'm just like,
I know.
Basically gonna get a bracelet that says Maisel's name and address, like you would a dog. Yeah. Like
it's true.
You know where it is.
They don't know anything.
Never take this bracelet off.
That's so wild, man. And like through his like little adventures, you see that how many children actually get lost. I think it said like 80,000 children get lost per year or something. I can't remember the stat it said at the end of the movie, but it's like a lot.
Well, just think about how different it is. Like 5-year-olds are never left unattended, let alone like, I know his brother was 14.
Yeah.
But like we would never be like, go work, go take the train.
Yeah.
Like that's just like not something, but like I know in like a lot of third world countries or like other countries, like you help a lot more as like at different ages.
Yeah.
Younger ages. But it's just like crazy to think.
Yeah. Such a sad story. Oh, I cried so many times. And then Keith is like, he hears me like sniffling. He's like, "Are you crying?" I'm like, "Are you not?"
Yeah, like, what's wrong with you? We need to get you checked.
He's like, "I don't cry." I'm like, "Oh." I cry
so easy now that I've had a kid, because you just imagine your kid in that scenario, and then it's just like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But also, I always thought I would be a foster parent, because I was like, oh, I went through the system, like, you know, I'll do it as well. But I'm like, I don't know how good I am at being a parent, and if I have like the patience for that. And also, like, usually kids that are in the system like do really struggle with like certain things, and so like I feel like you have to be like literally a saint. So but, like, also as somebody who like was almost adopted, like thinking of like ever adopting, like it's just like, because he struggled, right? Because they had 2 kids, so just watching that struggle too. Yeah. Like,
so difficult.
And like even that whole scenario of like, now we're your parents because we like signed something. Like, I know there's something about like people just meaning a lot to you, and like obviously like your parents, if they put the effort in, like you're gonna learn to love anybody. But like also it's just like you're also just not their parent.
I know.
But then he doesn't know what like his love from his parents are. He'll never know.
Well, he knows a little bit. Like, he obviously still felt that love and stuff. You can tell when he goes to see her again.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. I like died. And then once the movie was over and the credits were done, I was like, okay, good, I'm done crying. And then they show the
real person.
And then I cried all over it even harder. Oh my gosh.
I actually read the book of that, which is shocking. But yeah, I guess like I was trying to really think while I was watching it, like what is the mindset like a photographer would have, and like how do we use it? And I mean, essentially just comes down to storytelling, which like films, they're storytelling. So, and like, yeah, capturing emotion in like a really dramatic way. Like how can we do that in photography? And we all do try, and we all do get that at weddings, right? Naturally, like a lot of moments happen.
Yeah. But I think understanding someone will help you get even more emotion, I guess.
For sure. Yeah. The other one that they brought up is like the movie's just location, because it was like beautiful. Like India is just like crazy.
It really made me not ever want to go to India.
I know. So I know a couple people have gone to India, and like, yeah, I'm just like, I have no desire.
Yeah. And there's just so many, I think they had 2 billion people in India or something.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot, which was crazy because that point where the kid was like, did you really try to find my mom? I was like, I don't know if they actually tried to find, like, I can see how it would be very difficult to try to find someone without like the resources and like the internet and stuff. Like, yes, they put his face in the paper and stuff, but like
he's also changed and grown.
Yeah. But also I think that orphanage, I don't know if they actually did try to find his mom, because they're obviously making money from selling children. So
that's the one thing I really don't understand. I mean, somebody who has adopted people would know, but like I just don't understand why it costs so much.
Yeah.
Like these children literally don't have a home. It's like they shouldn't be for free, because it's like that would be super weird. And like I know I think it probably deters people from just like, oh, I'll get this kid, you know, like when you pick up a puppy and then you're like, oh, I'm actually like not, like I know people who get like animals and they're like, oh, I actually can't really take care of it, or I don't want it anymore, and then they just like get rid of it. It's terrible.
I know.
So obviously it's like 100 times worse with a kid. So I think like having like a money like a percentage that's like quite high, like deters people. I wonder if that's just literally what it comes down to.
Could be. I mean, it makes sense that there would be an adoption fee. Like there are expenses,
There's
operating expenses for the company. Like they're feeding all these children every day. They're like providing shelter for them. They're providing workers. Yeah. Like they need to get paid somehow.
There's also like literally lawyers involved.
Yeah.
They charge a lot.
Yeah. It's just operating expenses, I'm sure. But I don't know how much it costs to adopt a child.
We should Google it.
We should. I was also thinking like, because their reasons for adopting a child was that there are so many people in the world and there are so many people struggling. Like, why not help, instead of like trying to have a child that could possibly help the world become better, why don't you just make it better by helping a child who is struggling?
Well, I think it comes down to like the human experience. Like some people have like a natural calling to like, I don't want to have children and I do want to adopt, and I've always wanted to adopt. I've met people who have said that. Then I know people who are like, I've always like, I didn't have family, so I want somebody that is a part of me, you know? So like I think people all have like their own reasons for it, but it's like, yeah,
it's just so
people
beautiful.
try really hard to get pregnant.
For sure. Yeah. Cost of to adopt a child in Canada, over $50,000. Yeah.
It reminds me of like how it brings like awareness to the world, even just like in so many aspects, and then also about like adoption and just about different scenarios. And then same with like, I mean, even like Katie's work brings like so much awareness to like other cultures and like lifestyles. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
crazy movie.
A lot of movies do that, obviously.
Yeah. This one was just so sad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So good.
I wanted to watch it with people because I was like, I don't want to watch this alone. But then I ended up watching it alone. So I was like, cool.
I'm honestly glad I didn't watch it with people, to be honest. because I could like actually cry. Like I feel like if I was with people, I would just try to hold it in and not cry. You know? Keith doesn't count. I cry in front of Keith all the time.
He doesn't count. Yeah, that is. It was definitely. It literally says it's a tearjerker. So
Yeah. Well, I liked it. What's next on our movie watching list for next week?
you'd think I'd know. Oh, Rear Window.
Rear Window?
Is supposed to be the next one,
Okay.
which is not sad.
Is this scary?
No,
Oh, okay. Sounds scary. 1954. Oh, is it a photographer? Oh, look at this guy.
I'm like, I don't want to tell you anything about it.
Do you
should just
know?
watch
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
True.
But a while ago, like I kind of forget the premise of like not the premise, but like I forget exactly all what happens. But
He looks like he's spying on someone through
Yeah.
a window. Ooh.
yeah,
Okay. Cool.
like a lot of storytelling.
It
through a
is. It
window.
says thriller / mystery.
But like a thriller in 1950s.
Yeah.
So
So not scary.
I think thriller and like maybe you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm thrilled to be watching this.
Thrilled. A different kind of thrill. Cool.
Cool.
I'm excited. Did you hear about all the Honeybook drama?
I did. The pricing went up, but
Yeah.
I don't use it, so
I know. It's a program that a lot of photographers use because it's just so integrated. Like everything is all in one,
yeah.
which is nice. I was like, as soon as that drama came up, I was like, you know what? I should look into CRMs because I have so many different programs that I use.
Yeah.
And I just had to remember them all. And then Melina has to remember them all. I was like, maybe I could just use one program as long as it's like not stupidly more expensive than what I'm paying for all these programs.
Yeah.
So I looked into it. First of all, Honeybook raised their prices for the first time in like, I think it was like 2 or 3 years. And like they were upgrading the platform and stuff, and like they never raised their prices, and then everyone just got mad that they raised them. And I'm like, that's just what happens.
Yeah.
When programs get better, they raise prices. So I was like, whatever, guys, just like pay them their money. It's saving you so much like time and stuff. But anyways, I looked at some other CRMs, and I even looked into Sprout Social.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about this?
I saw on your Instagram
Yeah.
that you had.
Yeah. So I even set up a call with the Sprout Social people because I was like, I want to just get rid of all the stuff I'm using. Like I'm using QuickBooks, I'm using PickTime, I'm using Agree, I'm using what else? Just Gmail templates and stuff. So this is like all in one. And I was like, if it can properly replace all the other ones, then I might switch because it's only a little bit more than what I'm paying. But I kind of talked to a bunch of people that use Sprout Social, and they don't use all the features. They still use Sprout Social, but just like for a couple of the features, and then they use all these other outside features like Calendly and QuickBooks. Like they don't replace those features because they're just not as good.
Yeah. Also, like, it's hard because you got used to that. For me, I feel like I've used to those systems and I know how they work for the most part. And it's just like easy, quick. So I don't know. I'm like, I thought about it too. Because Pixie Set actually, like, they updated theirs as well so that you can have a studio. So you can send questionnaires and send invoices. I think you can schedule appointments from there.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't used it. I used it for like a month or two, and then I deleted it because I still had the other stuff. So yeah, I get like why it would be nice to have it all in one, but
It would be fun to try. But yeah, it just didn't seem like it was good enough.
yeah. I mean, it's just like if you started off with it, I feel like people are like, I love it. You know, a lot of people who love Honeybook.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never wanted to use it.
Yeah, it's true.
I haven't even like ever gone on their website.
Yeah, true. It is a little bit complicated and it's a bit of a learning curve. But like for QuickBooks, for example, it's not going to really replace QuickBooks. Like it's not an accounting software.
Yeah.
Like you can
You
send,
can send an invoice.
invoices,
That's about it.
But yeah, you can't like track expenses. You can't create reports. You can't like do payroll and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Just kind of sad.
Yeah, you could send your invoices and then input them back into QuickBooks.
Yeah. It's just kind of more
And
work.
you're like, that's more work.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess you could integrate everything else and then still have QuickBooks.
Yeah.
It's not terrible.
It's not.
I
But
wonder,
then I'm
but-
paying way more money.
So what did it come down to? So like QuickBooks, Calendly, PickTime. Do you only have PickTime?
Yes.
Why do you have PickTime over Pixie Set?
It's because that's the one I chose.
Yeah.
They're like the same to me. So
Calendly, PickTime, Agree, and QuickBooks.
yeah.
I mean, we probably have other things, Dropbox,
Yeah. Google Drive.
but
I think
like,
those are the main.
but like HoneyBooks doesn't do like Dropbox stuff.
Or gallery stuff.
Or
Do
Gal-
they?
I don't know.
Does HoneyBook do gallery?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I know Sprout does.
Did you actually do a comparison for pricing?
I just looked at Sprout.
And it's more.
It's just a little bit more if I completely get rid of all my other stuff and only use Sprout. But I wouldn't. I can't get rid of all the stuff because Sprout's system doesn't do everything that the way I want it to do
Okay,
it.
so this says HoneyBook has a few gallery features, including a template gallery and the ability to connect to PickTime galleries. So
So you still,
have
have
PickTime.
PickTime.
So it sounds like it's just cheaper to have all the things that we have and
Yeah.
just leave it the way it is.
Yeah.
It's not that
Exactly.
difficult.
No, it's not. But like, I feel like some of the website stuff, like when I'm booking mini sessions and stuff, like just like throwing Calendly, like a Calendly link on there doesn't like look as integrated. It's more for like the look. The look of the Sprout booking system looks so nice.
I mean, Calendly, yeah, it doesn't look amazing, but
No.
I mean, it's just, you're just scheduling something.
I know.
I don't know.
I know.
Nobody cares.
No, I don't think so. And people have already complimented me multiple times about like my whole booking system and how easy it is. So I guess there's
So
nothing that wrong.
Why change
I know.
things that are perfect?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's perfect, but
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because when I started, I used to handwrite my,
contracts.
my sessions in like my phone. And I would like literally email people back and forth and pick dates by like looking at a calendar and
Yeah.
like picking a date.
Right.
And then like, I started like slowly integrating like these like
Yeah.
things. When I found Calendly, I was like, this is amazing. And then I remember just like setting my availability and just people booking. And I'd be like, that is a mental load that like goodbye.
Yeah.
I mean, it came back when I had Maisel because I was like, when can I shoot?
Yeah.
And like having to like navigate figuring that out a little bit. But like if you just have it set and your availability and you're available, then it's like easy peasy and people don't have to like, what about this date? And then like the back and forth of that.
Yeah. It's so nice.
And so last year I just did like, I would have set days for the most part and it usually works for people. And it normally came from like Ruben was out because he has soccer and he had like a group thing. So it'd be like Wednesday and Friday. And so I'd be like, okay, well, my shooting days then are Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. And then obviously Saturday's a wedding. And then here and there a Sunday. But essentially in the summer, I try to say no to Sundays. But on the off chance you can't book the weekdays, I'm like, there's select few people. I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah. Same.
But it's just an hour usually,
Yeah.
out of your day. So it's like,
Yeah.
but
I know.
it adds up.
Yeah. It still kind of fucks with your day.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And
for
like,
sure.
then if there's driving involved and traffic and then you want to get home and save them and then you want to send sneaks and you're like, well, it's been 4 hours now.
No, if it's a Sunday, I'm not sending snakes. No way. I'm like, it's staying in my camera bag until Monday.
Yeah.
Like it'll just sit there.
But like, I know people who still don't use Calendly. And I know I'm saying it incorrectly, but like,
No, that's right.
oh, but like, and they still are doing things manually. And I'm like, just
Well, they might not have like,
enough bookings.
yeah.
I suppose.
Like once it gets to a point where you can't handle everything that's, you don't want to mess that up.
Yeah.
So that's when you have to do it. That could be our tip of the week. Use Calendly.
And we've done that tip before. We've literally done an ad for them. Remember, you winked?
Yes, that's
Can't
so
wink.
true.
I cannot wink my right eye. I can only wink my left.
Oh, I have a really good tip of the week, which was something I used yesterday. So you pay for Lightroom?
Yes.
And do you pay for Photoshop?
Yes.
Do you have like a photographer's bundle or something?
Yes.
Okay. So,
But I also have Illustrator somewhere.
okay.
But that's like an old
Separate.
program that like I paid with like you used to get like a 2-code thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have it forever on that computer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Adobe every year,
Has a code.
no. So I usually buy the whole Adobe suite because I use all the programs. I use Audition, I use After Effects, I use Premiere, I use basically all of them. So I have to buy the whole thing, which costs like $1,000 a year. And every year I just hop on the chat, the support, and I say, I would like to cancel, please. And they're like, oh, why? And I say, it's too expensive. And they say, huh, how about if we offer you this package for $600? And I say, yes, please. And that's what I do every single year.
They probably have it on record that you do this.
For sure.
But it doesn't matter if it works.
For sure. Yeah.
That's
And
great.
that's a great tip that I think everyone should be using because I don't think anyone should be paying that much money for these programs.
It's funny because I just watched the movie Upgrade and have you ever watched it?
No.
It's on Prime. But
Oh, yes. Oh, no. I've seen Upload.
that's a TV show.
Okay, yeah.
Anyways, it doesn't matter. But like basically she says that like the fear of you walking away,
Yeah.
she was using it to increase the price, but
True. I think Adobe, they're scared of losing people to Canva right now because Canva is so easy to use.
yeah, but it's
it's
still
so
not
good.
that great.
It's
like
good for like what most people need for just
like
their
sometimes
business
I'm trying to do
promotion.
something and I'm like, oh, it's like using the wrong side of my brain.
Yes.
Like Photoshop, you're like, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
Canva
yeah.
and like,
Well, because
I'm
we
just-
grew up with it and we know it inside and out. But like people that are just hopping on to like create like a little poster
Yeah,
or something
real quick.
they would be so scared in Photoshop, and Canva like literally makes it so easy.
I mean, my skills are very like limited now. I'm like not as good, obviously.
But you're still comfortable in
it's
Photoshop.
like also trying to do anything like in Lightroom that you should be doing in Photoshop. Like even just like I don't know how people like lasso remove things in Lightroom.
there's just
not
like
lasso. It's a heal.
yeah, there's generative AI fill
On Lightroom. In Lightroom,
Yeah,
it's not that good though.
it's not as good as Photoshop.
I feel like I've literally stopped using it, but also like I mean I try not to like Photoshop a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
But if I do, it's being saved and it's going to Photoshop.
yeah, for sure.
Just
Do you just right click and say open in Photoshop?
No, I usually still save it.
Because if you do right click, open in Photoshop,
It just updates it.
creates a new one.
Oh,
So you have the old one too.
I never want the old one.
You said you save it.
Yeah, but I save over it.
Oh, okay. I
Like-
mean, you can just unflag it in Lightroom.
Yeah.
There you go. Another tip.
I'm like, my tip
What's your tip?
My tip is totally unrelated, but do you ever just buy things online and then you like it says like, do you have a code? And you're like, no, I don't have a code. So then you just go on the internet and you write code for like, say you're buying something from the Gap. And you're
Yep.
just like the Gap.
Yep.
And then there's like usually codes and you can just copy and keep trying them until one works.
Yes.
I do
Everyone
it.
does that.
Okay, everyone does that.
Well,
I didn't know.
maybe people don't.
If
I
you're
don't know.
not, you should be.
There you go. Tip of the week.
I don't have
saving you money over here.
You
on
know
Edit
how
Sesh.
like people like do groceries and they're like, oh, butter's on sale. I mean,
Oh, no,
Steph
I
does
can't-
this for Pinch because she has to buy like
Yeah.
12 truckloads of butter. But like I'm buying a regular normal amount of butter for a week.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like when people are like, oh, like cheese is on sale. I'm like, I am not driving across town to get $1 off cheese.
Same.
But then I feel really bad because like I guess that's privilege.
Yes.
But I'm like, it's time versus gas versus the dollar.
Yeah.
So
No, that's true.
I don't know.
We're also just like lazier than those people.
Yeah. And like people who
Which we pay
like
for.
do you know I feel bad like the only card that I have to collect, like you know how like people have like MasterCards. I don't have a MasterCard.
Yeah.
And they're like pay for everything on it, and then they get like points, and then they can like buy a vacation.
Yeah.
The only points card I have is for Colonels.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I can literally show you. I don't have
Do
a
you have any
shopper's
credit
card.
cards?
No.
Oh, really?
Ruben has one,
Nice.
and I just never use it.
Oh my God, I have so many
If I
credit
have to
cards.
use it, I have to call him. So it's great for him.
It's actually so nice.
I
'Cause then we
had-
don't have to worry about like paying all the bills, all these different bills, and like missing any bills. Although mine are all automatic, but still.
I had like a Visa MasterCard, or whatever it's called, for like years, and I'm like, I never got enough rewards to like do anything, because I'm like, it doesn't work for me. I know it works for some people when you're like making like huge purchases, but I'm like, I'm not doing that enough.
Oh man, if I'm not getting points on a purchase, I feel like I'm getting ripped off. There's my favorite is Optimum, because I shop at Fortino's a lot and Shoppers, and I think you get Optimum gas.
So here's how I save money. I just don't shop at Fortino's.
That's true. But once in a while, I can just like get my entire cart of groceries paid for free.
Yeah.
So it's
It's worth it.
Yeah.
You can tell we're over 30.
Yeah.
This is such a weird set. Like, we're just talking about
Random
saving
shit.
money.
Well, it started off photography related.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to talk about?
No.
Okay.
What's coming up this week for you? Oh, my birthday and
Yes.
going to field work.
And pottery.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing pottery this week.
I'm not cutting these for that.
All right.
They're going to get mad at me, but I'm just going to like...
They won't get mad at
I'm
you.
just gonna be
You're
like-
going to get mad at
I
yourself.
know I won't be able to do it, but like, come on. I can't cut these for that. I can't cut my nails for
You
it.
can use them for cool designs.
My one friend is good at My one friend does pottery, so I should just be like, how imperative is it?
Yeah.
She'll probably be like, really imperative. I'll be like, Listen, anything I make is not going to be good. So it's, yeah, for
It'll
fun.
be fun though. I also start my golf league this week, indoor women's golf league. So I'm excited for that.
Oh, you know how you said you have a tip for me for sleeping?
Yeah.
So I had one for you, a workout. So Fitbit has like all these workouts on their app, and you can just do them. They're from other programs like Peloton.
Cool.
I don't even know what, but there was one specific for golfing, and I was going to send it to you, and I'm like, I can't actually send this to you because you probably don't have the app.
Did you watch it?
No.
Oh.
But I wonder, have you ever used FitOn? I wonder if they have golfing specific workouts. It's probably
Honestly-
a lot of like body band stuff.
Yep. There's a lot of rotational stuff, a lot of balance and core stuff. But I just asked ChatGPT to give me all the exercises, and it was amazing.
I can't use ChatGPT anymore. I learned something really sad about it.
What?
Apparently, it uses like 10 times the amount of energy as like a regular internet search, and so it's like actually apparently like terrible for the environment because it produces like a lot of heat, and like billions of people are using it to make like stupid things. So it's like creating, yeah.
And you've used it
Environmental-
so much that
I
you've
know.
probably like killed an entire country.
I know.
I'm just kidding.
I feel really bad about it. I've never really, it's weird because like I know some people who are like, oh, I like feel really strongly about like not buying new things, and like I do for the most part try to thrift. It just came naturally, but like I feel so sad about ChatGPT. Like it sounds
It's
so
a weird thing I would never have thought of.
You would never have thought it, but like I mean the internet in general like has an impact on our world, but it just like it feels like with everything that's going on in California, it's just like, really, do we like, can we just like can we just ban ChatGPT? Like it just is new. It's this year.
Yeah.
Like we can go back to normal and we'll survive like it never happened.
Yeah.
Like let's not incorporate it into our stuff.
Have you seen that Google basically has that same thing? Like you just ask, instead of typing your question into ChatGPT, you type it into Google and it creates an AI generated response based on...
I wonder if it's like the same terribleness.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
Before
it's an
talking about
alternative.
ChatGPT, I was going to say that podcast that I listened to about working out, I learned so much stuff, and I'm like, I don't know the person that was on it, but I'm like, I need to like consume more of your information, because she was basically saying that like as women, we don't learn certain things about like our body. And you know how like they're always talking about like eating for your cycle? I mean, I don't track anything about my cycle, but I was like, this is so interesting, because they're saying that women tear their ACLs more than men. And the reason for that is because at a certain part in your cycle, when you're working out, relaxin releases in your body, which is what happens when you're pregnant. And literally it does what it's called. It like relaxes your like joints and muscles or whatever. So like I guess like because everything is like loose, you're like, you can tear things.
Yeah, that's true.
So I was like, that's crazy to like know that. And just like, I don't know. I was just like this. And also from that one podcast, I found out that women are supposed to sauna differently.
Yes, you need like a prime.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I've been saunaing wrong. So
I honestly was thinking about that too. Like I was thinking about you and Ruben doing sauna, and then I was like, Dorothy's probably just doing everything Ruben's doing.
well, yeah, because like nobody ever said like, oh, you should do it differently. But I
Yeah.
think it's also still based on your cycle.
Yeah. My gosh, it's crazy.
Yeah. Things you don't get taught about at school.
It's
like,
just so much harder for us.
it is, and it sucks.
Yeah. And no one teaches you, and you kind of have to research it, and it's kind of difficult. And you kind of have to know like where you are in your cycle, and that's also difficult.
Yeah.
Do you track your cycle?
No.
Me neither, but I want to.
I mean, we could start.
Okay.
Start.
I think I'm
Now.
in my luteal phase.
They all.
Apple.
We should talk about it more.
Yeah.
Like literally be like, oh, what phase are you in? Kind of like your sign,
Yeah.
you know? We could get stickers to wear like on which ones we're on.
Yeah. So we
So,
know
like,
how
people
to like,
know.
talk to each
yeah,
other.
like, oh, you're really
Like,
sensitive right now.
yeah.
It's like a mood
You're in a
ring.
PMS today.
Man, could solve so many problems.
Everyone just watch out. Dorothy's in her PMS cycle or phase.
I'm generally pretty sensitive. You would not know this about me.
I'm sure there are times where you're less sensitive. I feel you're less sensitive today.
You haven't said anything mean yet.
Maybe I'm in a cycle. I'm in a not PMS cycle too.
We
though.
haven't fought. We normally fight on our
It's
podcast. We normally.
Yeah, it's true. It's because we started later, so I got to
No,
sleep in
that's
a little.
not why.
Yeah, I'm probably just
bec-
grumpy in the
because
mornings.
I haven't read a Reddit.
A controversial thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
where
let's
we
go.
don't agree.
Let's go.
I'm like, can we both Google one? Because I actually don't think I have one for this week.
Oh.
I have one. I should just read the one that I have for next week.
Okay.
And then we can also ask those guests what they think. But it's basically about plagiarism. So it says, hypothetical question. If I take a photo where I copy the same lighting and setup, like on-camera flash, similar pose and cropping, is it considered plagiarism or inspiration? I was like, this is an easy answer.
Yeah, but like it just happens so often.
This person says it is not plagiarism. It can just be in bad taste,
Yeah.
depending on the purpose of copying the work.
Plagiarism would be literally taking that image and passing it off as your own. Like taking it from the internet, like
Is that what
screenshotting
plagiarism
it,
is?
and then putting it on your website and saying that it's yours. That's like stealing and plagiarism. Or saying you took that photo.
Oh, it says representation of another person's language, thoughts, ideas. So I think representation could be a loose term to being like physically reproducing,
Yeah,
because it is a representation of that person's work.
for sure. But
So, I mean, yeah,
happens
like,
everywhere all the time.
well, of course it does. I mean, I've done it, but then also I've like credited the person. I've known other people that have done it. I have taken a very specific photo
on like Ottawa Street that I feel like most people wouldn't take this photo because it's like it's not like an aesthetically pretty setup, and posed the couple like a certain way, like one was sitting this way, one was sitting like facing the other way, and like had somebody literally redo it, like exactly the same.
Someone else redid yours?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was like, you know what, if they had tagged me in it, I feel like I would have felt like less weird.
Yeah. I know. Happens all the time.
But they do say that like copying is like the greatest form of flattery.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, that was amazing, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
Because like we follow a lot of photographers and you're like, oh, that's a beautiful idea.
Yeah.
Right?
And you never know, because it could be that client that could have seen that picture and been like, oh, can we recreate this photo, and ask the photographer to recreate it or something. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
It's a
if it's
weird
like,
one.
I think, well, in this question, he says same lighting, same cropping. Like, it sounds too close to being, like, if you make it your own,
I
like, if
mean-
you do it in a different setting, but it's, like, similar, okay, that's different.
It's hard because, like, say a headshot. Like, so many people do headshots exactly the same way. They have the exact same lighting. They crop at the exact same spot. They use the same background. It's a headshot.
Yeah.
So, like...
I mean, I guess you would call into question, like, the, like, yeah, like, the creating of it, you know? Like, maybe because there's, like, a set recipe for, like, a headshot.
For sure. Yeah, 100%. So is that plagiarism on the very first person that ever did that recipe for a headshot? It's
No.
not.
But I mean, I've seen somebody like, yeah, I've seen somebody do like exact photo that like Phil Chester's posted, and it's like to the T, like straight up like the exact same shot. And I'm just like, yeah, that doesn't feel like inspiration.
Yeah.
Or like, again, like I think if you credit the person, I think you're claiming that you literally got the idea from someone else. And I think that like
Yeah.
helps in my mind.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I get it. That's a toughie. It's a
I
toughie.
would love to know what people think
What do people think? Let us know.
in the comments below.
Okay.
It's a crime in Canada, so
Yeah. True. Is that enough talking for today?
yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, I'm tired. I need to go eat.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Where can they find you?
They can find me at Effie Edits Photo on Instagram.
Nice. And they can find me at DorothyMay_.
And also follow our podcast Instagram.
Yeah, because we're super hilarious.
Super hilarious. You can see our viral videos.
30 likes.
Edit Sesh Pod. Follow us.
Okay, bye.
Bye.